Photo students, today I'm going to show you how to make a double exposure using two pictures and changing the opacity first, and then we'll also try some blending modes. All right, so this is the simplest of our methods that we're going to be using to make a double exposure picture for your double exposure profile picture. You need a profile of you or someone else. I shot this picture with my phone. I set it up on a table and then used the self timer to take the picture. I just did it over and over again until I got it right. I also selected an area in my house that has a white wall, very simple background. That's going to work best for this project. If you don't have a white wall, any color will do as long as it's simple and plain. Okay, do not use a picture with a busy background. All right, so I've opened my profile picture and I found a picture. I searched my Instagram for a picture that I thought might work. And this project really it takes a lot of experimentation. It takes a while to find the right images to go together to look cool. So you'll find yourself doing a lot of experimentation over the next couple weeks. All right, I'm going to use the move tool. I found this picture of birds flying and clouds. And so I opened it in Photopea, and I'm going to use the move tool, click and drag it over to my other tab that has my profile picture. The picture of me is an original picture from my phone. I could not find the original of my picture of the birds, so I took a screenshot from my own Instagram. All right, so I'm going to go to Edit Free Transform and hold the Shift key to keep and only go from the corner of the bounding box to make the picture bigger. And I'm going to make it cover the entire frame. Move it up a little there. All right, I'm going to push the check mark. Okay, and now I know we cannot see the other picture, but it is indeed there. All right, the first thing we're going to try is changing the opacity. We're on the background layer. If we look here, we'll see a little opacity percentage here. I'm going to use the drop down to change that percentage. When I bring it down, it goes from being completely opaque, which means you cannot see it through it, and then as you bring it down, you can see through the picture. So this is the simplest way of blending two pictures together, is to simply bring the opacity down, and you can see what opacity works best for the effect that you want. Okay, so the opacity change is the easiest way to do the double exposure. All right, but to do something really cool, if you want to put more effort in, and of course I'm looking for that you to see that you tried different things and experimented. So if you only do this, you're only you're probably gonna get a lower grade than someone who tries a little bit harder and experiments. All right, so I'm gonna bring the opacity back up. Another simple way of doing a double exposure is to use a blending mode, and the blending modes are just to the left of the opacity. So if I go to the blending mode drop down, you'll see all these different ways of blending the photos together. The best way to tell what it's going to look like is to simply try it. And dissolve never really does anything, not much, not usually. But as I go down the line, I start to get some interesting effects. Okay, and yeah, so that's pretty cool. Keep in mind that you can move it around if you don't like the placement of something. You can always crop things a little bit too. Some things are going to work better than others. You're going to get some really weird effects. Now also, ooh, that's kind of nice. I like that one. Screen. Okay, so really you just have to kind of scroll through and see what you can get. And see if you like any of these. That's pretty nice. Ooh, down at the bottom you get some really weird effects. If you want to go for something psychedelic, go for it. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. So I can go for something like this. One thing to keep in mind too is that once you get the effect, you can play around with other things. So for example, I might go here and go to the hue and saturation layer, which is right here. And I could play around with the colors and see if I like it better in different colors. Turns out I'm not so happy with that one, so I'm going to delete that. I mean, there are other things you could try out, of course. And I'm going to go, is it soft light or is it hard light, I think? Okay, so I think I really do like the hard light. Okay, and I can kind of play around with the opacity if I wanted to as well. All right. Okay, you can also, again, you can tweak it if you want. So I can do a burning in tool maybe. So I can either burn in on, I'm going to try burning in on the one below. All right, since this is the picture of me and that, I'm going to burn in the edges. So I'm going to go with the highlights. Now it may not look so great on the picture, but when I blend it, oops, let me Command Z that. I've got to make the hardness of the brush 0 so it blends a little bit better. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and, oops, what am I doing here? I have a paintbrush. Let me try that one more time. There we go. We'll go with the burning in tool. Okay, and the burning in tool, I gotta bring the hardness of the brush down. Make my brush bigger with the bracket tools. There we go, that's better. Well, that was what I was trying to do. Okay, so I'm going to turn my picture back on so I can kind of see, just to kind of give the edges a little bit of darkness. There we go. All right, so that is one possible, those are some possibilities for a simple way of blending two pictures together. All right, I'm going to save this one and good luck. Experiment and try a lot of different pictures together. File, export, save as PSD. All right, if you can, save it as a PSD so you save the layers. If not, you can save it as a JPEG. Export JPEG. Make sure it's at 100% quality. And that is it. Good luck, have fun experimenting.